Hello everybody and welcome to SCUM Bunkers. In this video today I want to talk to you about development goals of SCUM and things that can improve the game in a very short period, and we can start a little bit discussion. As also I would be happy for your input under the video and maybe also in the Steam forums. But before we jump into the points, I want to entertain you a bit, and therefore I have a special guest here, and let's just listen to him. This was awesome, I would say. Thank you guitar guy. We will see you at the end of the video again. Thank you. And now let's quickly jump into our content of the video. So in this video today, I want to talk, as I said, about development goals and get a discussion. So how do we turn SCUM into a more challenging game, and what should be the development goals? I know that the devs have a roadmap, and they also announced missions and other stuff, safety zones. But many people complain in the forums in the past about things that can get better. Cars will be the next content which comes. There's also fortifications, but as I also explained in a video before, that this will be not a core mechanic which will keep the players long in the game, because people drive around and they have no idea where to drive. So in this video I want to talk about development goals which can be achieved quick, and maybe we can talk also about or with the devs in cooperation to change or get some content earlier in the game which keeps us in the game, is also entertaining. So how do we get SCUM into a more hardcore survival game where people stay in? We have a general point, so we start now from the basic, which means resources, improve and expand current environment. So this means we need more vegetation, more materials, a bigger wildlife, and as also an improvement of the amount of the world loot. This video is also starting from the last video we shared to you, where we talked about the elements and how survival games work. And to have a solid start, because we need a foundation for a survival game, I start in this video, or this video is about phase 1, where we talk about physiological needs. Now I got it. To say staying alive in the beginning, and time pressure. So this is keeping the people busy and entertaining. And if this mechanic works, the people have to do something, and people can wait for other phases. So as you see here on the graph, the perfect build setup for a survival game in phase 1, this violet box is covering all the aspects, the survival aspects of the metabolism. So the metabolism is the thing we are working about, because this is the core mechanic of SCUM, and we have to struggle or have to fight the survival aspect. This means the survival aspect is pending on 2 points. On the left side we have the crafting options, which have also split into weapons, buildings, tools, resources, and these came out of single items you can find in the nature, so you can craft these things and also gather these things, as also things you can get out of the world loot, which means you can get these out of houses, bunkers, finished items. And this makes your thing or your survival aspect easier. So this is the supporting side, and on the right side we have here the environment, which tries to kill you. Environment means we have weather, earth conditions, as also animals or AI and PvP, who also try to kill you, as also special events out of the world who try to maybe kill you. So if we jump now to the SCUM game, where is SCUM and how much of these things, as you see before, is SCUM covering? So if we say now the survival aspects, we have not many points on the left side, and we have no impact out of the environment except maybe PvP, where you engage other people in the world who try to kill you. But I mean, you are not really threatened by a goat or boar who may run you over. You lose some HP, but the environment is not a danger for us. So this side has no impact on our survival aspect. On the left side, we have just single items. Items out of the nature are just wood and stone. As also we have some sort of variety, but not big a variety of world loot, where we have a big survival or crafting options for our points down here. So the box here for crafting options, of course, we can craft bows, we can craft spears. As also out of world loot, we have some weapons, so this box is a bit bigger and it digs a bit deeper into the nature resources, as also the world loot, because we are able, this is covering most of the things you can find in SCUM. Things like tools or buildings, I mean, we have the shelter and the lookout tower and 3 types of crates we can build. So this isn't really covering a lot, and we just also use wood, metal, scrap, and the tools are also not in that amount available as it should be. So this means right now in this point, maybe it's okay because we have no impact out of the environment, where we have to counter out of our crafting options to survive. I want to jump now in the first section into the environment and show you things which are in SCUM and which should come into SCUM. Some of these were already announced, but this is an idea collection, some sort of discussion, as also you can get some impression how survival game can look. So as you see, we have here now these our 4 sections, which contain water, earth, animals, AI, PvP, and special events. I explain this now. Sorry. Sunshine means, I mean, right now we have no threat. If we move too much and we are close to heavy, we have the only threat to get hypothermia, but the basic weather in SCUM is not a threat for us. What could be maybe missing, so the things in red are, for example, things which could be easily implemented in the environment regarding weather, would be hot sun burning for the southern part of the map. For increased hydration, water need is also super fast hypothermia. So this means you must be clothed different in the southern part of the map. Right now we have also, it's white, we have rain, where the only impact is that we have a weight increase on equipment. If our equipment gets wet, we also have no impact that, for example, our character cannot move anymore because the equipment got too heavy. He gets slower, but the impact on this element is also non-existent. What will come in the future and could be also an effect out of rain is sicknesses. So people, if they see, oh, it's getting darker, the wind is going stronger, I take cover to get away from the rain, because maybe I'm really close for getting sickness because my metabolism isn't that strong at this time. Another weather mechanic would be snow on the northern part of the map, which has which can easily go to hypothermia, which means you have to carry more clothes, as also an increased calorie usage because your body has to heat up, and therefore you have to eat more and drink more. Weather elements which are not in the game but would help for immersion are maybe fog or some bigger storms. So this is just a collection. If you have other ideas, you can write it under the video. I can extend this. I will also bring this discussion to the Steam forum and ask about the opinion, because I want to check what's the next milestone after the cars, where most people have cried to this, to check if we get any improvements on these environments. Animals, as you see, we have bears, goats, and boars, which have, I think it's my feeling, a 50% chance to get chased, where you lose. I mean, I once got hit by a bear, lost 16%, and I got hit by a goat where I lost 40%. So, but you have a 50% chance that the animal is also running away. This is not the fact with the other animals down here. We also know which are in the game, but there could be much more to set up living wildlife, crabs, sharks, fishes, sheep, mosquitoes, crocodiles, which can also provide different resources or things for crafting recipes. So we have also here again a big possibility to get more stuff out of the environment to counter it. AI PvP, of course, we have loot locations, bunker, military zones where we have sentries and puppets on the outside. What's missing is puppet in the inside in my is as an idea, or also AI guards outside as inside. We have cities where we have puppets, which is okay. We have airdrops, which we have a percentage chance that puppets are inside. As also, what about guarded by AI? So if an airdrop gets down, you have maybe 2 seats each side, so you have 4 AI soldier if they are sentries or human. But there is in the Unreal Engine already the possibility to have AI. There are existing packages to implement this pretty easy, and this should be also make the airdrops more challenging to get into, as also you have something to do to say, hey, there's an airdrop, cool, I can find or fight some AI. So this is just an idea. The environment, right now we have roaming puppets, single ones. If you're unlucky, you run into one of these, but the most puppets are next to cities or military. What's missing here also in red are roaming hordes, maybe also roaming AI patrol in every sector, which is looking out for prisoner to hunt them and chase them, as also chasing AI parakeets from the sky. I mean, what about if you walk somewhere and you see a chopper, and if you are not taking cover, which is also supported by your camouflage skill, then the chopper discovers you and drops down 2 or 3 AI soldiers who are then roaming around the area where they saw you. Would be also a possibility to keep the pressure out of the environment or get more pressure out of the environment. As also missions, which is completely red because this is not in, but this is the most solid point to keep people permanent in the game, to have maybe a small container dropping down where also AI are running out, or you have city occupations where they say, hey, the city in this in B1, which with the name blah blah blah, is now occupied by AI for 30 minutes. So this means when you clear the city out of the AI, which is holding the city, you get an airdrop or some goodie, so that you have cleared this area for these AIs. I mean, these AIs can be also some sort of TV disturbing hippies to say, hey, no, we don't want the prisoner to fight, and so we are occupying the city, but the people don't get any weapons. And so this can be also part of the game, and it's pretty easy to implement. The last point is special events, and these are things which inspired me out of the Hunger Games movies, where we have toxic fog, toxic rain, earthquakes, meteor shower, massive puppet hordes which pop up maybe during a fog weather event and can roam around. Special creepy animals. There we are also free to have some mutant animals or mutant AI running on the ground. There's also tsunami if you're close to the coast, where a giant wave can hit the coast. So these are special events, you know. You can have also maybe some sort of notification out of these, like the horn out of Silent Hill. Whoever has heard the sound of the Silent Hill horn, this scares like shit. And also you have a notification, oh, something special has happened to the world, and it keeps the game on this gun map entertaining and dynamic. So we come now back to the main graph where we say, okay, we have now talked about the environment and the possibilities we can put into the environment to have an impact on our survival aspect. Now let's talk about the counterpart and the things we have in the nature. Right now, with the existing items, you will recognize we are even limited in the things we can craft. I mean, once you maybe cut a tree and you get a long stick, if we keep this amount of items in the game, you can craft 50 things out of a long stick with also other things, but you can have 50 crafting recipes or stuff with the long stick, and I think this is not sufficient. It's also like people who complained about the loot nerf to say, hey, I went to a military zone, I have 10 crates and 8 of these are empty, and I just have 2 crates which are filled with stuff. So I would prefer to say, hey, maybe I found 1 or 2 items in every container, but if I even have a bigger variety, I'm not annoyed that the container is empty, but I find maybe something different I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't want. Or depending on the varieties, to say, hey, I need all of these, but I cannot carry that much. So you have to decide what you take out of a military zone. So taking decisions is one, as I told in the other video before, one of the core mechanics in a survival game. And let's now jump into the single items. So these items you can find in the world, I classified it as basic nature loot resources, basic world resources, which means these are finished goods you can find into cities. As also we have a section for tools, I come to this later. So the basic nature loot is about, we have trees, bushes, where we can get these 4 in white: woodlock, tree bark, short stick, long stick. So we have no leaves, we have no plant fibers, we have no tree resin or herbal medicine, which can be also bushes somewhere around where we can later craft medicine. So we have even a possibility to improve the outcome of trees for items. As also ground resources. The only ground resource we already have now are stones. And there are so much more which would be realistic on a game like this, like clay, sand, oil, gasoline, gas, ores, and worms. Worms for fishing later. But before, now some people cry, hey, yes, sure, I have an oil rig on my land. No, ground resources. For example, the people who are more into PvP will love my words now. So when cars are into the game, how about before I have a loot drop, which filled gasoline container out of military, which could be an outcome, but the most point or the most or the higher chance is to get an empty gasoline container. And I have seen, I think, while I wandered the complete SCUM map, about 4 or 6 gasoline stations, which are all around. What about if you are able to collect gas out or gasoline out of these gas stations? So this means we are creating for gathering for collecting resources. We are collecting more hotspots which are splitted all over the map. So this means when you have a car, you go to this gas station, and for example, it takes a while to extract the gasoline out of the gas station. This means maybe you get 1 liter in 10 minutes, and you really sit here and say, hey, move faster, I need 3 liters for my car. So, or you, this time is adjustable, but we create hotspots. Also, I mean, we can have mines maybe on the map. I mean, the devs already implemented some caves, but what about ores which are also a bit to the surface? This is a point I get to later. But I mean, if you have a sector and you have maybe 5 ores or little clumps of ore which are on the surface, you can loot it, and then it will respawn somewhere else in the sector. But you have always 4 or 5 on the sector. So this means you have no fixed no fixed points where you can get ores or other things from. So you have to wander around, and you know, maybe you go to a city and middle in the forest you see, oh cool, there's a chopper ore, and you're happy that you are lucky to find one of these ores, and you know once you gather them they will respawn somewhere else and you have no idea where. So this gives the thing up some sort of dynamic. So the people are maybe also chasing for these minerals around the map because they have a special crafting goal they want to reach. And these are only some points which makes the game more dynamic, and they are very, very easy to implement in the Unreal 4 engine. Very easy. And these can come into the game in a very short time. So others, for example, water-sided plants to get bamboo, sugar plants, palm trees, or flowers, natural food locations, can also provide crafting materials. I mean, if you go to these sunflowers or to these strawberry bushes or stuff, why do you not have a percentage of chance to get specific crafting materials out of these natural resources? We have also a possibility to provide more elements to the players where they have a bigger variety later then to say, okay, I have now an own possibility to determine my play in SCUM. Also berry bushes, and a resource I put into here is wind energy, of course. Some people will now shout, yes, this is not a settler game, but it's a long-term survival game, and some people want to settle down, some people just want to roam around. But if this game will get hardcore as the dev announced it, you need a hideout. And why not having a wind energy, you know, maybe a small charging station where you can put out the batteries out of your night vision to recharge the batteries, maybe for your night vision goggles, or using the wind energy on a different way. As also we have now then a possibility for some tech skills in the character creation you can train. So nobody in the beginning will be able to build these, but we have a big split up depending on the people, on their play style, how they put in the skill points in the character creation. And having these elements in would now also make the players who want to roam around as single wolves think about it to say, hey, I need maybe 2 days or 3 days playing. If I'm lucky, I find a battery so that I can then use my night vision again. So give them the ability to also craft some sort of small wind energy station. Also, we have mushrooms where we cannot now extract poison, but you know, before I have a mushroom in the inventory and do right click and have the option to extract poison, let's do something different. Let's get to a campfire, let's cook it, let's extract the poison on a different way. The longer the crafting row is, the better it is for the game. Also, we would have more options for animal skins like bovine, wool, silk, leather, feathers, eggs, ink, chitin, milk, teeth, so that we have a bigger variety of natural resources. So this is just a thing of items we could improve in the nature to get more or bigger variety of items we can then use for more crafting recipes. Because if this game stays with stone and wood, I mean, you can stay in a forest and then you can craft up to the high-tech level just with stone and wood, and I think this is not the right approach to it. Basic world resources, I talked before. Sorry, this is wrong. So this means here houses and stuff. You can find scrap metal, rags, rubber band, all the things which you can also use with your basic natural loot to craft specific items. Like for example, the skin mask. I mean, you can use skin, you use the magnifier glasses as also robes, and you can craft a skin. And here you see I work together with basic world resources as also natural loot resources, and I come to these later. Again, just I think you have already go over it. We have the different type of tools. We already have now in the game is also lots of other tools which would offer us, if we find this tool maybe in the basic world resources, because some of these cannot be crafted. So we have maybe a very happy effect if someone goes to a military, loot something, to say, wow, cool, I found a wrench, I have now 1 out of 10 pieces to repair my car, and he's happy. And these are the things we need in the game. Other points, this is regarding base building, resource building. We have a shelter, wooden crate, and the lookout tower. I would like to see other or higher tier crates like TP. I mean, I have already seen blueprints of TPs as sheds, or maybe also house trees. So we have a bigger variety. Base building, by the way, is a complete different point, I think, where we have to be careful when the devs announced fortifications. We have a big threat that we kill our servers, and if you want, I can make a separate video where I can also talk about base building mechanics and threats and dangers that SCUM development may face. As you see, we have lots of elements we can use for bases. We as fortified is also if we have a free base building later when we have the complete map. The map is even bigger, but this is just an option, and I think you have also additional ideas to it. It's just an option by my person, what's missing in the game and what should the find way in. We have also base resource buildings, world loot. Maybe you can find a generator, so you can charge up your things also, and then you can also have a usage for the gas or the gasoline you can find and get out of central points. There's also a fridge to maybe keep your foods fresh. So because right now you log out, you look 2 weeks later in, and your food is still fine. I mean, in single player it makes sense, but in multiplayer I would prefer a mechanic where is a unique timer on every item, which says when I gather an apple, the apple gets rotten within 2 days, and I have a fridge somewhere and I can store, which is also charged by a generator. The fruits can stay good for a week, or I think these are just ideas. You know, there's also some balancing with it. Walkie-talkie. I mean, this is not some sort of base building, so this is a bit wrong here. But why not finding players walkie-talkie and including a short-range option so that players who see another player in a city grab their walkie-talkie, and if the other player has a walkie-talkie, they can talk over short range, and the other player in the city gets a notification. So we strengthen the PvE effect to say, hey, I have seen you in the city, are you friendly, what are you doing, blah blah blah, and we get the people into conversation. Right now, when the people wants to talk over the B key in-game chat, they have to get pretty close, and you know, the closer they get, the higher the tension, and I think this is a pretty good addition to the map. Another point before I close out here is when I noticed, you know, these central gasoline collection station like on gas stations. Why not having also the bullet crafting at special machines which are located in every city? So this means when you want to craft bullets, of course you need to have the relevant skill, but you are not having the machine. I mean, I want to see the person who is having scrap metal, gunpowder, having in its hand, and like He-Man style, crafting a bullet with its hand. I think therefore we can also force the people to go to central points like ammunition presses or stuff in these city workshops, and we can create a big variety of hotspots, as also points the player have to move more to maintain their survival. So how do we get all these together? We need a categorization and creation of sub-mechanics. This means here we are still talking about our survival aspect, which is where we need foods. These are the elements where we need foods, water, also cooking, and health, and some others. And we can split these food into categories. This means we get resources out of hunting, as also we need tools to hunt. So this is symbiotic, where we have in every section here a sub game and also a progress insight. So as an example, if I go hunting, I craft me a bow. I can craft me a very crappy one, as also, or maybe I take the wood to a fire, make hardened wood, which I craft on the campfire, and then I have an even better bow because I used a better wood. And out of the environment, I found scrap metal, and I can make even better arrows. This improves my hunting success, and this is the progress what we have in each phase. So this means these arrows here are just not collecting to something special, but out of these sub-mechanics, we get our survival aspect for constitution help, we get some sort of equipment, and we have some basic buildings. So as I said before, we get, maybe we can farm some or tame some animals, and with some loot like we can't get out of the nature, we can improve these sub-mechanic or mini game. Even fishing can be a mini game, or collecting items. Maybe the berries inside the inventory take 1 inventory space per berry, but what about crafting a berry bag or stuff you can place inside your backpack, which provides you which is on 2x2. So this means basically if you have none in the inventory, it would be 4 inventory space, but then you are able to put 16 berries inside your berry container. These are just ideas how to improve your survival aspects, and with every point into one of these sub-elements, and out of loot you get out of the world, you can improve your skill and also improve the success in each sub mechanic. Also, for example, the distillery or a rain collector. Maybe at the rain collector, yes, you can collect fresh water, which has maybe instead of a 50% chance to get sick out of a river, you have a rain collector where you just have a 20% chance to get sick. So you have to distill your water anyhow, but the chance to get sick is less. Bandages Plus means a bigger variety of injuries, as also herbs and meds to help. I mean, we have now some herbs and some medication you can find, but these are just points. You know, if you look into each of these points, you have a lot and a huge variety, especially when you have a lot more resources, natural as also world loot, you can work in with the sub-mechanic. So this brings us to this point where we say, okay, out of the natural resources, maybe here I craft a bow, I take a long stick and a rope, and I get a finished equipment like a wooden bow. As also I can say, okay, I take a natural resource, I take a campfire, which is a natural tool, I harden the wood, and then I do unadapted resources, like I have a hardened wood, and with the hardened wood I get a better bow, and you can climb up the resource, as also the loot quality. You can climb up higher. You have the natural resources, which are in cooperation with the world loot, in combination to climb up the quality of the resources, to get also some high-end buildings, tools, and equipment. And in the end, if this progress is as slow as possible, the better it is. I mean, the longer you have to get to some expert tools or to get some professional crafting, the longer you have to get from here to here, the better it is. So the more crafting options, the better it is for you. So how do we implement these new resources? We have to increase the amount of world loot items. This means this must be map adjustments the devs have to do. I mean, they have implemented caves, they have built the naval base, and in the Unreal 4 engine it is so easy. It is so easy to implement new structures, trees and other stuff. So what we need also, for example, to edit the loop drop out of the existing trees and plants, we need more and different vegetation. Like on the example before, or for random spawn in each sector, so that you have also another goal to collect or to hunt, as also a higher animal population and variety. So once you maybe discover, hey, I need some chitin, and I have to find a crocodile because I want to craft these specific items. And you know, crocodiles maybe are just in rivers or in lakes, so this makes you to travel to a lake. And the devs, it's not a big deal for the devs to implement more lakes, all spread out all over the map, so that we have a bigger that you don't have travel too long, as also you have a bigger spread out of the resources. We need high-class resources at central places like gasoline, as I explained before. If you have a car and you want to drive it and you're running out of gas, there are maybe just 8 locations on the complete SCUM map where you can get gas on, and these are hotspots, and you must be careful to go there. As also, if you later want to craft you a vehicle or a repair vehicle, put the steering wheel to the prison, put the tires to the factory, and make the people collect everything from every location, and make the drop rate low. So this keeps the people busy to get to endgame content. And even then, when they have all the needed resources, they must have the recent skill, and so this means they should have skilled in the beginning, or should learn to improve their skill for a long-term survival gameplay. Yeah, unique loot spots. As I said before, the best example are car parts, but this can be also later something different. For example, if you want to build up some wind charging station, this means you need a special chip, and this special chip you can get just out of a big mech which is in front of a bunker. So this means, okay, I have to collect a long time bullets to kill this mech, so that I have the possibility to have a charger, or that I can craft a charger. And yeah, so these are the points. What's the next necessary step to ensure constant game activity? Beside all the things we talked about now, so what's very easy to do is we need more pressure out of the environment, out of the things I have spoken before, as also an increased amount of world loot and natural items. We need more items in the world, a bigger variety, and then we can have 10 boxes, but we get out of each box we get 1 or 2 items, but these are not the items we are searching for. A point which is also easy to implement in some case is provide AI military, as also AI drops and random roaming AI in sector. I mean, give it a try. There are already so many bundles of AI Unreal Engine 4 AI packages, where you just have an already existing AI. You don't have to program your own AI and build it. There are existing packages like wildlife sets. There are already fishes you can craft out of a package, and these to implement is not that big deal. But this will keep players busy. So this means maybe we have also 10 missions popping up on the whole world where you can kill animals, kill AI and also get some loot out of it. So this would be also an option. But the most important is a solid game engine. I mean, even Arma can handle hundreds of players and AI. Everybody who played Arma before, even when you fly with a chopper over the landscape, you see maybe 50 soldiers under you and 20 people. You have no lag, no desync, no nothing. And I think this is a part I would like to see also improving instantly. I mean, if we check the possibilities of the Unreal 4 engine, um, there is some improvement, but I have the fear if the devs have to step back to collect or to have to repair a lot of the things they already have done to the map because it causes lags. I think this is a bit of pity, but I have no idea why it takes so long. But this is also one of my 4 points I would have to have on a roadmap or on a milestone list, and these are, in my opinion, the next priorities. There can be also, again, people who have a different opinion. This is just my opinion because I'm a survivalist and I enjoy also PvE as also PvP. And the people who get bored, who wants to play PvP, yes, once a survivalist or you by yourself you have more hotspots, and you are also pressured more by the environment. You will enjoy the game even more. So my last question, but this is standing back in my mind. What about mechanics? How is AI development? I will ask this in the forum and ask, hey, I mean, we have now 2 months. We have now got some decoration. What are you doing behind all of this? What can you show us? I mean, or have you just worked 2 months towards cars? And these are questions I think we have to get. But this should be give you a rough direction. What would be the best points to increase SCUM in a very short time? So, as also, thank you very much in the end. Thank you for watching the video. I hope again, I don't want to make videos. I have no content to do, so I have chosen the more intellectual approach to talk about game mechanics. If you have other ideas or opinions, let me know. Put a comment down, or we can discuss also in the Steam forum. Thanks for watching. And I hope you enjoyed the content that I provided to you. And so it's now, it's getting dark. It got dark. So let's check if our guitar guy is again here, and hopefully he can provide you another. I knew it. I knew it. Thanks, dude. Thanks for ruining it. Okay. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks also for my friend Silence over here to provide us some music also in the end. No, please do not shake. No, I have to put the helmet in front so we don't see your wiener. Thanks everybody for watching. Have a nice evening. I hope we could also entertain you a bit more. We can learn a bit about more survival game mechanics. Talk a bit No, I don't want to watch it. And I hope if you like the type of videos we provide, let us know, and we will create also other content. There's also more guides if there is something to guide you or entertain you. Maybe we do some go away. We do some more bullshittery in the next videos, or if we have some content in the game, we also thought about doing let's plays to entertain. Oh no, okay, I will not look there. So thanks everybody for watching. Leave a comment, talk to us. Thanks. Have a nice evening. Archangels out.